Hello everyone and welcome. If you didn't make it to Houston like myself for 3D Experience World 2026, don't you worry, that's exactly why we're here today. Between AI announcements, cloud strategy, NVIDIA partnerships, virtual twins, intelligent assistants, there was apparently a lot to process. And let's be honest, at events like this, there's always a mix of big vision, genuine innovation, and a few buzzwords that need translation. So today, our goal is simple: cut through the hype, clarify what was actually announced, and focus on what truly matters for Solidworks users.
That's right.
My name is Ophélie. I am the graphic designer and marketing coordinator at Solidxperts, and I am joined by the one and only Michael Habrish, who was on the ground in Houston. So before we dive into the specifics, why does 3DX World matter to everyday Solidworks users? Is this mostly future vision, or are we talking about changes people will actually feel soon?
Lots of great questions there. So the 3D Experience world has always been more than just about flashy demos, right? So for everyday SOLIDWORKS users, it matters because it sets the roadmap for the tools that you use every day. While there's a lot of future vision, there are also some immediate takeaways, like those new AI assistants that you mentioned, enhanced simulation performance, and of course, better cloud collaboration. Don't forget the teams can actually start using a lot of the tools that we'll see today as of today. So be sure to keep an eye out for that as well.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that this event sets direction, or does it deliver immediate impact?
So definitely both. It sets the strategic direction for where Dassault is taking the 3D Experience platform and SOLIDWORKS, especially around AI and the cloud. But it also delivers immediate impact for engineers who want to leverage those smarter simulation tools, virtual twins, and assistive AI features. So once again, you can start experimenting with some of these today, even as the larger vision of Dassault unfolds over the next couple of years.
So what we're doing today is filtering signal from noise. It seems like no marketing fog, no overcomplication, just what engineers should care about.
That's right. So before diving a little too deep into detail, a short outline for everybody. The plan is basically to go through the event day by day and talk about the major themes, the major topics that we heard about while I was in Texas. Of course, we'll do our best at the end to give you guys a summary, maybe some key points to take away. So day one was really all about the vision for the future of design. So to sort of give you guys a feeling for the energy that was at the event at 3D Experience World, let's take a look at this opening clip here.
So it appears that day one had a very clear theme, which was AI. There is more and more of it, it's inevitable, but something felt different this year. What stood out for you about how AI was positioned in 2026?
Yeah, so you're very right. It did feel different this year. So the messaging this year was much more grounded. So instead of positioning AI as sort of a replacement for engineers, Dassault focused on AI as being a collaborator. Tools like Aura and Leo, which we'll see in just a bit, are about context, guidance, and reducing those repetitive tasks so that the engineers can spend more time on decisions that actually require their expertise as engineers. So that was a very noticeable shift from previous years where before it used to be more like AI will do it for you, right? Now it's AI will do it with you.
But there's still a lot of anxiety out there, like with questions like, is AI gonna replace engineers? Like, will it take their jobs? Like, was that the message you heard?
So not at all, right? In fact, Dassault repeatedly emphasized that engineers are to remain in control. AI is going to help you speed up your simulations, maybe provide you with some design suggestions, help you organize your data, but at the end of the day, judgment is always you. It's always human that is the final word, let's say. So the goal is to remove friction, but not replace the human insight. We're talking about an AI that is learned from industries that will help you accomplish your goals within those industries.
Oh, that's good to know. We also saw, as you said, multiple assistants introduced, which Aura we knew already, but there's also Leo and Mary. For someone watching and thinking, okay, 3 new names, like great, what do they actually do? Like, can you break this down in plain language?
Of course. So the way we were told to look at them as if they're specialized co-pilots. So imagine Aura orchestrating your requirements, your projects, and the changes. It's usually your starting point to explore the possibilities of your design. When you bring in Leo, you're bringing in the engineering reasoning. So think of mechanics, motion, simulation. Think of Leonardo da Vinci as a virtual companion in your 3DEXPERIENCE platform, right?
Big brain.
And then finally, we have Mary, who will be there to apply scientific and regulatory insight. So think Marie Curie, the scientist in this case, once again, on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. So what does that look like in real life, right? Imagine that you're designing an e-foil for a boat over here, and you're wondering what is the best material to use for your design. So ask the same question to each virtual assistant, and we're actually going to get some interesting results, maybe some different answers from different perspectives. So in this example, we'll ask Aura what material we should use to design this e-foil. Well, Aura will give you an idea of what materials are generally used for this specific purpose. So for example, carbon fiber, fiberglass, or aluminum. Whereas if you ask Leo the same question, what material I should use for this design, he'll give you the engineering reason why carbon fiber might be the ideal choice here. And then let's take a look at what Mary would say. Well, she might give you a suggestion based on the different material science perspective, right? So once again, the regulatory and the science background.
Okay, that's interesting. So they all have a very specific role.
Exactly, yeah. So we were actually very lucky at 3DEXPERIENCE World 2026. We had the opportunity to watch a live demo of Leo. So I absolutely have to share that with you guys here because just this 2-minute clip is very impressive. So let's give that a shot.
Leo, could you please create a sketch from this drawing?
Okay, so first one, I have it in my clipboard. I have a drawing. Can you extract sketches out of it? And by the way, I pasted it very fast, so some people will say that this is video, so I'm deleting text, okay, out of it, right? And I am pressing enter. Because yesterday while I was doing it, some people were confused. So here, it asks me that, sure, let me help you, let me guide you through steps. And it pops up something called drawing to sketch, select a PDF file. Okay, so let's try to select a PDF file. So in ModelMania, as you know, you have to have a PDF file that we give you a PDF file, and then you have to use that in order to create the model. So here, you can see that what AI is doing here is that it is looking at that PDF file, and it is providing segments that it wants to keep as sketches, segments that should not really be sketches. So there is a title block, there is a isometric view that it shouldn't really keep as sketches. So it is discarding it. Not only that, Pascal, it read every single dimension. So this is also done by AI.
You mean all the dimensions?
All the dimensions, and I can even modify it if I want. You see, these dimensions are editable. But here, for the sake of time, let me just try to create a sketch. So I was able to go from a drawing to a sketch like this.
Wow. Now, what about the 3D parts?
You want more?
Yes.
So create a 3D part. Now let's see what it does. Actually, what it will do is that it will identify the sketches and it will know how to create a 3D part out of those sketches. Soon enough, it will show me a preview of the model that I need to have. And once the preview is shown, I'll hit OK, I accept it, and there you go, you have the 3D model. There. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, right? Very impressive. So this gives you an idea of sort of what's to come, right? With the engineer in the driver's seat, AI became a tool that made designing feel frictionless.
So this is not a sort of magic design button. Like, it's about removing friction, as you said, improving context, and mostly supporting engineering decisions. It's not replacing expertise, it's just enhancing it, which is great.
That's exactly right. So one thing that we noticed as Solidxperts was how grounding that messaging actually felt. Right? It's not about blowing up existing workflows. It's really about strengthening what engineers are already doing on their day-to-day. So if we were to sum up day one in a core message here, I would go with AI is the engine, you are the driver. So once again, AI works with engineers, not instead of them. So that sort of brings us into day two, which was more about partnerships and what AI looks like today in practice. So the tools that we have at our disposal today, let's take a look at another clip.
So it feels like gears shifted on day two. Like, apparently it was a bit less conceptual and more technical. I read it was focused on performance, simulation, virtual twins, and NVIDIA. About NVIDIA, what stood out to you in the partnership announcement? Because that was something big.
Yeah, huge actually. So the partnership with NVIDIA is all about GPU accelerated simulation and virtual twin performance. So combine NVIDIA hardware with Dassault's software, and you'll be able to do much faster real-world simulations, even for complex assemblies, right? So that means, once again, the engineer can iterate designs faster without waiting hours or even days for their simulations to complete. This is all being computed by NVIDIA GPUs. So in my opinion, honestly, this is the sort of dream partnership. Considering the huge vision that Dassault has with AI, the only way to achieve that goal of virtual twins at a massive scale is with the power provided by NVIDIA's GPUs.
Okay, makes sense. But also, we hear virtual twin constantly. I need you to demystify it. Like, what does that actually mean in practical engineering terms?
Yeah, so when we speak about a virtual twin, it's really a digital replica of a physical product. So something that exists in the real world. It could be a product, it could be a system as well. So it behaves like the real thing. And for engineers, this is important because it allows testing and validation in a virtual environment. So you can see how a part will respond to stress, to heat, or even motion before you manufacture the part. So this is going to reduce errors, cost, and your time to market, everything that we're looking for, right? So imagine the scale of the simulation that we're talking about here. It's really the capability of simulating an AI factory is what's going to be possible with NVIDIA GPUs combined with the 3DEXPERIENCE platform.
I mean, it all sounds great, but the key question for me is, where does AI actually show up inside a real workflow? Like, not in a staged demo, but in your daily engineering work, for example.
Yeah, so today we have AIs integrated in SOLIDWORKS that assist us in multiple practical ways. I'm going to call them AIs, but they're really just things like automated feature recognition or suggestions for optimal design configuration based on prior models, or even like a predictive simulation guidance. So these are all things that exist today, and they're more like AI assistants, right? They are not autonomous on their own. So I'm gonna go ahead and steal some slides here from my colleagues, actually. They presented an excellent webinar on AI a couple of weeks ago, and if you haven't checked it out, I really think that you should. So they used this slide here to talk about the features that exist in SOLIDWORKS today that we would call AI, like those predictive tools, the selection assistants, and those accelerators. So there are two things that stand out to me today that people aren't taking advantage of enough. So I'll just go ahead and present those really quickly. The first one that I think is really cool, that's something I wish that I had as a student, is the ability to take an image of a mechanism, so it was just a picture, and have it become usable design data. So imagine you have this image from a school textbook of a mechanism, and you want to create that in 3D in a modeling software. Well, now you can just grab that picture, import it into your design environment, and right from there, create a mechanism with all of the right constraints, right? So from idea on paper to a functional sketch online in seconds, right? The second one I really enjoy, it's something that we should definitely take advantage of today, is the ability to auto-generate drawings, right? So generative AI, taking the pain out of creating your detailed drawings in SolidWorks, it'll automatically generate and detail your new drawings as well. So imagine your dimensions, your tolerances, your callouts for features, all of that being included in this drawing that's automatically being generated by an AI assistant in SolidWorks.
Okay, so we are not replacing CAD, we're just making it stronger. And AI becomes another tool in the toolbox we already have, alongside, of course, experience, intuition, and engineering judgment. So tools get smarter with time, but engineers stay firmly in control, and I think that's an important distinction.
Yeah, for sure. So the big message for day 2 is to build on the foundation that you already have. Take advantage of SolidWorks with cloud services because it is your gateway to the future, right? All of the AI that we see that we'll have in the future, it's going to be on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, and you're going to need SolidWorks with cloud services to gain that access. So if day 1 was a teaser of what's to come, let's say day 2, the big message is a reminder of everything that you can already do with AI today, right? So that brings us to day 3, which was really all about community.
It's just like a rave. Okay, so day 3, the last one, I heard it always feels different, like it's less about strategy and more about people. Why do you think the energy shifts on day 3?
It's a good question, right? So I personally think it's because we have to say goodbye to everyone that we got to see.
Sad.
A lot of the times it's the first time we're meeting some of our customers or even our colleagues at World. So it's really a reminder that you're part of a collective that's working to create some amazing things. So if anything, day 3, like you said, is all about the people behind the technology. Students, makers, educators, everyone is contributing to the ecosystem that is SolidWorks, right? So the energy is more hands-on and collaborative, sort of highlighting that SolidWorks is much more about community than it is just about the software.
And what did you notice this year around students, makers, and education?
Yeah. So actually, very big announcement here. It's clear that Dassault is making investments in education and maker spaces. So starting July 1st, actually, there will be a free student edition of SolidWorks available.
Yay!
Yeah, so talk about things that I wish I had when I was a student.
Yeah, I bet so.
But basically, Dassault, they're creating a pipeline of engineers who are already familiar with SolidWorks and the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, so that when they graduate from school, they'll be able to hit the ground running.
That's awesome. And did we get hints about where SolidWorks is heading next?
Yeah, of course. So AI in SolidWorks tomorrow, right? We're seeing a push towards tighter integration with the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. I think that's pretty obvious. So better cloud collaboration and more AI-assisted workflows. Don't worry though, SolidWorks isn't going anywhere. It's just evolving into a more connected, smarter, and easier to adopt tool. So once again, I'm going to steal some slides from our last presentation just to give you an idea of what's coming. So imagine you need a 3D model of a part, like a handle for your assembly. With just a picture, AI will be able to generate a precise virtual twin in seconds. And then this model will come in simulation ready, which will allow AI to run even further tests under your real-world stresses, your real-world conditions, So your performance is being validated right away. Not only that, picture to mesh is a very powerful tool that is existing today, but what if you needed to take that mesh further? Well, in the future, what we'll have is something that can create, the tool will be called Mesh to 3D, which will take those static meshes and make them fully editable parametric models. So whether it's from a scan or an import or old legacy data, AI can open a direct path from that complex geometry to features that you'll be able to refine, reuse, and evolve. So we're exploring multiple approaches, and you can see here one of those results. Now imagine that you're moving from a 3D part into sketching some new ideas. You already have the part and you want to add on top of that. Well, instead of painstakingly constraining every line in a sketch, once again, generative AI steps in. They'll be able to help you stack your dimensions, recognize existing features, and ask you if you want to recreate those. So sort of keeping your design intent intact while you're focusing on being creative, being innovative. This one speaks a lot to people that work with scanning, right? So if you do any scanning or importing of parts, they often come in incomplete, maybe with some gaps or missing features. Well, AI in the future will sort of act like a self-healing material for our geometry, automatically recognizing patterns and rebuilding sort of those missing areas that didn't come in with your scan. So AI helping you restore your design intent in this case. If you do any sort of manufacturing, right, in the future, NC programming will become fully generative. AI won't just automate your toolpath creation, it's going to explore alternate strategies, so different ways, maybe balancing your speed and your quality, and continuously learning from past jobs. Let's say you're a graphic designer, for example. You can actually accelerate those rendering workflows in SolidWorks in the future, right? So imagine you have a camper van and you want to see what it looks like in real life. Just ask your AI chatbot in the SolidWorks interface, hey, can you render this and tell me what it looks like in real life, basically?
Wow.
So the future of visualization is with AI. And then this last clip I want to show you, we already know about Aura. Aura already knows about our models, right? It understands our models in context, and they're able to give us some deeper answers, even maybe providing design options or different configurations based on all of the knowledge that we've given it. So once again, AI-assisted workflow with a co-pilot, sort of.
Okay, so what I take from day 3 is that technology evolves, but the real investment is still in people. So tools matter, but skills matter more, thankfully.
Yes, thankfully.
Okay, let's bring this home. I am going to cosplay as a SolidWorks user that is watching this today and ask questions about what I should actually take away. So I'm going to rapid fire this, okay?
Perfect.
Okay, first question. What's the biggest misconception about AI coming out of this event?
I would say the biggest misconception is definitely that AI is supposed to be a replacement for engineers. It's not. It will not be. So these assistants that we've talked about today, they're really designed to enhance your decision making, reduce your repetitive work, and give you sort of actionable insights. Once again, you're still responsible for the final design as the engineer. We're thinking assistive, not autonomous. Engineers are always going to remain accountable.
Okay. Second question. Does cloud mean all in or nothing? Like, is desktop SolidWorks going away?
So that's a really good one. I know that there are a lot of fears out there. People are scared that they're going to lose their SolidWorks. It's not happening. So my answer to that is, not at all. Dassault is actually encouraging a hybrid approach. Desktop SolidWorks will always remain fully supported. The cloud just adds some flexibility on top of that. So easier collaboration, remote access, and integrated simulation. Without forcing your teams to abandon the tools that they're already relying on, right? So in terms of direction, we're talking hybrid with flexible adoption of the cloud, with desktop being very much still here.
Okay. Third question. If teams want to prepare smartly for 2026 and beyond, what should they invest in?
So very important is investing in understanding the tools. So don't just enable features and turn on all of these AI-assisted workflows. You need to train your teams on these AI-assisted workflows. So cloud collaboration, best practices in terms of simulation or design. Focus on thoughtful adoption rather than just rushing to activate everything, right? thoughtful adoption will always beat rushing into anything headfirst.
Makes sense. So finally, the key takeaways. In 3 points, what defines 3DX World 26 for you?
Yeah. So let's summarize in general. 3D Experience World 2026 was really about smarter tools, stronger performance, but a clearer AI positioning with a growing engineering community. So let's say 3 key takeaways for our session today. Number 1 is that it's the year of AI.
Literally.
It's finally become a practical assistant, not just a marketing buzzword. But you always have to remember that it's a tool for you to use. So once again, AI is the engine, but you are the driver. For point number 2, we've seen AI and virtual twins showing tangible improvements, but it's actually here today, right? It's here today and available in Solidworks with cloud services. So once again, that is your gateway to the AI that's coming in the future. And then finally, last point, community. It's all about community. It's the community energy that reminds us that skills and collaboration are just as important as technology. It will always remain in the forefront. It is key. If you have any questions at all about SolidWorks, 3D Experience, or even AI, we're part of that community, so you can come to Solidxperts and ask us those questions.
Literally, I was going to say, just before we wrap up, if you are serious about starting to use AI in SolidWorks, most of the time it starts with the 3D Experience platform. So if you're curious or if you'd like to understand what it could look like in your environment, just drop a thumbs up in the chat and we'll contact you just after. We'll follow up and take a closer look at it together. Thank you, otherwise, for spending the day, a part of the day with us. We hope this recap helped you understand what truly matters and what doesn't. We can stay in touch. You can sign up to our newsletter using the QR code on the screen. You can also follow us on social media at Solidxperts. And because I am the one in charge of them, if you don't, I will personally hunt you down until you do. I won't, I'm just kidding. But you should, because we post every week all sorts of things to keep you updated about everything that's going on in the CAD world. And useful things like blogs and tips and tricks on SolidWorks. So catch us there, and we might catch you at 3DX World 27. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.